Hello, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? How's you? I don't know. I was like, we need to start this video, and that's what happened. You're welcome. So today we're going to be having a fun little video. I've been trying to make serious videos, and the state of the world right now is just getting my head in such like a vice that doing serious videos is really hard right now. So I got tagged by the little cosmic crow to do the get to know your witches tag, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'd seen that Kellyanne had done it too, Miss Kellyanne Maddox. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. I just love her. So I thought I would do the tag too. It seemed like fun. It seemed like fun. We need some more fun right now with this motion, apparently. Center and calm. It's going to be a weird one, guys. So buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Does your sun sign, question one, zodiac sign, portray you correctly? Oh boy. We might be here a while. If not, what about your other planetary signs? So, hashtag Virgos, come sit with me. Earth signs, you know what I'm about to say, because I've said it before. Earth signs get such a bad deal. There are some things about the Virgo general star signs that I can see. Like, the pattern identification thing is definitely a thing. Like, Virgos seem super psychic because they're really good at pattern identification, but they also have to be super careful with it in case they like overanalyze. And overanalyzing is definitely a thing. Being in the head too much, giggly, is definitely a thing, and you have to be really careful with that shiz. But growing up, I was so angry about all the like the Virgo stuff, and I was like, I don't feel like an earth sign, and I have a deceptive triple earth top layer with a volcanic underlayer of deliciousness, by which I mean my top three signs are Virgo, Virgo rising, Taurus moon. But almost all, like a lot of my underplanets are fire, and I think that explains me better, because a lot of the Virgo stuff I was just like, no, like oh, they like to clean. Fuck off. Oh, they're patient forever. No. Oh, they like lots of structure and no. Like, I was like, there needs to be like a chaos Virgo thing, because that's what I felt like most of the time. I felt like the chaos Virgo in the room. Like, it didn't apply. A lot of things didn't apply, and I was just like, oh, this doesn't feel right. So when I actually got like more in-depth charts done, and other people have done this for me, because it's a little bit too much like maths, but it's interesting when you when you reading about it and you're taking that information in, but I don't know that Virgos or any other earth signs get portrayed well most of the time, and I love earth signs, especially earth sign witches. We rock the boat. Virgo witches and earth sign witches in general are some of my favorite people. I love other signs too, but like we get so like dumped on that I feel like I need to be like, represent, hashtag Virgo, hashtag earth sign, represent. I don't know what that is. Question two, fast, quickly. Which songs bring you the most magical vibes? Oh, I was going to look up the name of this song. I shall look up who does it right now. The first song that ever made me feel this way is Return to Innocence, Enigma. And I heard this as a very young child, and it did things to my little soul. Like, I remember listening to this and something else, and the whole panpipe vibe. I was like dancing around the kitchen table in my nana's living room. So Return to Innocence by Enigma really took me into this spiritual space, as did Eurythmics' Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. There was something incredibly empowering in that moment about that song. And then growing through, there's been several different ones over time. Alice Cooper, the poison that is his really spoke to me on a sort of sexual awakening, magical level. And what's and growing up, I really loved Enya as well. I think a lot of us probably enjoyed a little bit of Enya growing up. But now it tends to be things like what really speaks to me on like an energetic level right now, like Billie Eilish. I don't know how you pronounce her name. I'm useless at names. I'm on the tail end of a migraine, so bear with me. Curly's Tutalois song is literally a spell about fire invocation. And oh my god, it's in Estonian, it's beautiful, and it's on her new album, her Shadow Work album. I love her. She's a witch. I long suspected she might be. And her work is just beautiful. Lots of it is. Kyla Lagrange's work does that to me too. It helps me get centered. I've also been listening to a lot of Danheim. That really helps get me in the mood when I'm like struggling to. I love the kind of Viking music. I feel like a Celtic traitor because there's not a lot of the Celtic music that gets me in the mood the same way that the Viking music does. I need the deep, dirty drums, guys. The deep, dirty drums. Deep, dirty drums. I feel like this is an analogy for boobs. That's not what I need to get in the trance mood, though. Maybe it is. Who knows? I know. I'm not telling. Right. No, nobody's boobs are required. Maybe my own. I wouldn't get far if I left them behind. Back to the thought process. What other music really works for me right now? I love in this moment for getting really fiery, like Roots is their song that really gets me into the more organic space, or Rain and Fire really gets me into more organic space. And I've been listening to Brothers of Metal, which is my other half's fault, and then that will get me there too now. Like I can trance out to that too. So there you go. There's some music that definitely speaks to my magical vibration. I'm a bit across the board with music. I'll listen to most things. So, which one of your deities, guides, ancestors is the most sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply, which of your tarot or oracle cards does? I'm going to do both, like everybody I've seen. So I work with a Morrigan eyebrow, and particularly in her aspect of Babe. Eyebrow, double eyebrow. There's some serious sarcasm that happens. Also, the leader of my ancestors, if you like, the woman that speaks most to me, she is a Pict, and she's sarcastic AF, and you just don't mess with them. There is a lot of the women in my line who are ancestral line who are very forthright, very cutting and to the point, very strong warrior women. I suppose that's probably to be expected, and they don't mess around. I guess it depends on the Morrigan's mood whether she's sarcastic or not, but she definitely can be. She can be whatever she wants. She's the Morrigan. I've learned not to question it if she's telling me one thing. So the deck, actually, I picked an oracle deck for the one that is the most sarcastic. And this may or may not surprise you. I don't know. Like Chris, it won't surprise, but I don't know about everyone else. Like, so it's the Halloween oracle. I know. There's a whole story with the Halloween oracle, which you may have heard before if you've been on this channel for any time, or if you are following me and Chris on the podcast, which is What the Flux podcast, if you're interested. So yeah, that's the card. Right. So I initially didn't think I was going to like the Halloween oracle because it looked a bit gimmicky to me, and somebody bought it me as a gift because I do freaking adore Halloween. Hello. Halloween is my boo, my first love. And I was a little bit worried that the cards were going to be a bit gimmicky and I wasn't going to connect to them. Boy, was I wrong. And ever since, they've punished me with being quite sarcastic with me. They actually, the book is terrible. flat out. The writing in the book is mostly terrible, but the cards themselves are really deep. They drew me in, they give me messages, they speak. I actually journey with these cards really easily, like more easily than I've ever journeyed with any oracle card. Like, it took no effort. And the other thing is, they just call you out. So this card right here, this graveyard unnecessary fear card, if you are doing it, sisters are doing it for themselves, if you are freaking yourself out and it's not needed and it's your own headspace and it's your own shot, this card will tell you. This card will tell you. But you know, they're really gorgeous. Oh, there's another one. So like ghost and regret will call you out too. So absolutely the Halloween Oracle. Sarcastic AF. Hey spirit. Every time we're videoing lately. Okay, biggest witchy mess up or in misinterpretation. So this was really interesting, because I've seen how Kellyanne responded to this, and how Little Cosmic Crow responded to this, and things like that. So the first thing is, well, maybe it's the second thing. We all know what my biggest mess up is. We all know, if we've been on this channel, like, yeah. Never again will I be messed about that badly. But apart from that situation, I don't consider mess ups to kind of be like mess ups. I think we all get misdirected a bit, we all make mistakes a bit, but I think we're meant to, because then we learn, we grow, we learn about ourselves, we peel back the layers of self-knowledge, and we learn what's good for us, what nourishes us, and what does not. And my big word of the year for this year is nourish. So everything's kind of coming through the scope of that right now. So messing up, misinterpretation. I've sat with this question most of the day and I still am not sure what my answer would be, other than we all know that one. I think maybe it comes from that, actually, which is not empowering myself first. I think maybe that is the biggest witchy mess up, which is a spiritual, emotional, a mental thing all in once. And a lot of the witchy work that we do is obviously tied into empowerment, self-worth, and self-knowledge, and we can only truly seek to master ourselves, and witchcraft is a tool of that, right? So maybe it's not empowering the self, and then also not honoring and empowering others, particularly other women. Like, I got that, the whole mess of that situation got me into a really bad mind space where my mother's words, like, you can't trust women, blah, 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 was like at the fore of my mind, and I wasn't in a good space because of all the nonsense. So like, I felt like really deep into that shadow, and I fell into that shadow, and I didn't consider my empowerment and I didn't consider theirs. And I came through that and I realized what had happened, and that a lot of the piss poor treatment to me was meaning that I was like shelling off from other people, other women in particular, and their feelings and experiences. So it's definitely a massive major mess up at that point, which led me to realize just how connected the community is in the end, and just honoring other women, being good to other women. And that was a major lesson, and I was humbled by those two things, and I'm good with that. So it's not so much of a mess up as it is a big learning curve, I think. Would you write a book on your craft or spirituality? Why? If you have already, what were your challenges in doing so? So technically, I have self-published 3. I'm in another. I'm going to be in some more, and I'm writing another one now for Become a Living God. But the right. So let me just pull up the screen so you guys can see. So I haven't got a physical copy of the Ogham affirmation book that I published as part of Patreon initially, because I don't actually have any copies of those in the house. And I was like, did I not put myself a copy aside? And I was like, oh, that was interesting. But I've got the other ones here. So I was featured in the Sabbatica, which is volume 4. The Garden of Bones and the Arcana of Death. So if I can find myself, I might have to. Right, hang on then. Let me find myself. I was really honoured to be a part of this one. Oh, okay. Interestingly enough, my page number boils down to 9, which is my life cycle meaning. Isn't that neat? So there's me. I dream in death screams, echoes of death goddess Babe. So I am in this Sabbatica. And then these are the 2 Songs of Shades, which I have self-published. Shall we read from a poem? Shall we read from a poem? Okay, let's Stitchimancy it. Oh, not that one. That's super long, as much as I like it. Okay. Songs of the Healers, Soul Song. Standing in the darkness, listening to the void, starless nights without a guide, trying to remember who I was, before all the noise came crashing, like electricity through the sea. It was never really meant to be a part of me, trying to remember how to fly, eyes watch the sunset crimson, bleeding out like a broken heart. In between is where the smallest step is courageous, and the stinging nettles of tears lash against my broken skin. Remembering who I was before the cruelty of words began, trying not to swallow the bitterness, lead me down instead to water's edge, filling my lungs with sea foam, delving into hidden depths to emerge, a glass-caged bird with claws, breaking the bonds that only hinder and harm, singing a song only my soul knows and grows. So if you don't know about Songs of Shades Volume 1 and 2, they are a mixture of channeled spiritual prose or poetry, along with spells and ritual work to go with each. The Morrigan was considered to be a poet, especially in her prophecy, and that is a quote that begins both of the books, which is, "I am a female satirist indeed," from Goddess Morrigan as a poetress at the cattle raid of Regamana. Regamna. Oh, gosh, I'm terrible at pronunciation, especially on day 2 of migraine brain. So I had been writing and channeling spiritual poetry for a very long time, and I just one day decided to do it, to put it into a book, 2 books now, and just self-publish them, put out initially as a poetress, which felt right because it aligned me with my path with the Goddess Morrigan, and put me into a space of beginning to put work out. Now I am writing other books now which are more around spirituality, a little more instructive, a little more in depth, a little more with, you know, folklore and very Virgo-y feeling, but I wanted to do the creative ones first, and self-publishing is a bit of a pain in the arse, and I asked for help at the time and received almost none from the person that had self-published before, and I actually received help from Chris and Molly Roberts, and Molly is who designed the beautiful artwork. This is her original, and I asked her if it's okay if I shifted the color for the second one, and I will keep her artwork for any future ones of these, because the thing about this is there will be more of them, because I want Songs of Shades to continue as kind of like mini anthologies in a way. Learning to edit, properly for books, and getting the self-publishing to work was nightmarish. It gave me a major stress headaches both times, but it is really satisfying, and writing books is actually one of my major life goals and has always been one of my major life goals, so I want to continue to do that. I got very serious. If someone was to summon you into their circle, what for? Well, what 5 items would they need? Okay, so I did think about this earlier and I did come up with answers, right? So 1 is coffee. Coffee. So most people are like, but you're English, which is not technically very correct. You should like tea. And you know, tea is good, but fishes. If you try and summon me with tea, I will corporeally manifest down the street at the local Costa and have a caramel frostino or a caramel latte, because caramel definitely helps with my coffee. No joke. I don't know what it is. I'm just a coffee girl. I prefer the coffee. I have a hair in my eye. So I'm a coffee girl. I love coffee. I just do. I would much rather have coffee than tea. So if you want to summon me, coffee. I can't explain it to you. I just love my birthstone is a coffee bean. I just freaking love coffee. 2 would be shimmy. Shimmy. That's obvious. If you know anything about me, you know there's some shimmy in there somewhere, right? The third thing would be cute. The third thing would be either cute gothic or Halloween goodies. I mean, I'm obsessed with creepy cute. That's why we have the unboxing videos. And I like give away stuff because I'm like, everyone must love the creepy cute. I can't explain it to you. Ever since I was little, Halloween has been my favorite time of the year. So the creepy cute gothic vibe off that, and a kind of witchy aesthetic kind of thing has always been just a part of who I am. I love it. It gives me chills and thrills. I don't know. There should be like a Halloween song for Joey. It gives her chills and thrills. She just likes it, you all. She gives it all to Halloween at the local mall. I don't know why. The rhyme is in American. I have no idea. Maybe because a shopping center doesn't rhyme anywhere near. Cha cha. Halloween. Where's the roof? I have no idea. Circling back. 4 would be a box of Essence of Autumn. So like a box with like leaves and tasty things from around autumn. Autumn is my power time. I know a lot of witches really enjoy Halloween and autumn, but there's this thing that happens to me in autumn and I just shift and I feel like so empowered. We're shifting into like almost a summery space right now in the UK. It's not summertime yet. I suppose June is getting there, but it's really unseasonably warm again and I'm just like, ugh. Hay fever and warmth. So, but autumn, guys, I'm like, oh my God, I feel alive and I can sing about the autumn. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. I just being strange. Too much coffee, not enough coffee. Who knows? A mixture somewhere in the middle. So a box full of autumn will get me into a circle post haste. The smells, the sights, the mist, the colors, the feel in the air, the magic of it, the magic in dying. It's just, I love autumn so, so much. And last and not least, talking about loving and dying is probably some kind of taxidermy, because my room is full of ethically sourced or gifted taxidermy, bones and things of that nature. I just adore it. The connection to the magic and the spirits right there is so powerful for me. It's been some of the most powerful experiences in my life. I'm very naturally drawn that way. I don't know if it's like a gothic Halloween macabre undertone, and that's just fed the spirit side of my witchcraft. It's really been a kind of something that I haven't talked about in depth because some people really can't can't deal with it. But I mean, everything I source is ethically sourced, either by myself. Everything's given a ritual, you know. So that would be the final thing. If you were a ghost, who says I'm not? What place would you haunt? Who says I would? Okay, there are a few different places. If we're talking about places that you know you'd like to hang around for a while in your afterlife. So Tintagel is definitely one. Tintagel in Cornwall is just one of the most beautiful places in the UK. It's very deep, it's very spiritual, it always feels like home. Going anywhere near it, it's just and I have to say, now I've been there once. Norway, hello, most beautiful place on the planet, with the most beautiful man on the planet. Yeah, it's mountains, Gandalf, and water, and the air is so clean and fresh, and little waterfalls and rivers everywhere. It's just like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And I mean, I'm biased, and I will probably be biased full stop, but oh my goodness. I was going to be like, I'm going to be biased right now, but I was like, no, I'm going to be biased forever. So yeah, maybe one of those two. Although, you know, I don't know that I'd really want to haunt the earth, like as a ghost. If we're being real, I don't think I really want to. So what is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you are a witch? Well, okay. I mean, I had someone send me a Bible in the post once. That was super passive aggressive. They were a landlord, and after we left, they sent me a Bible in the post. I was not best impressed. Violation of personal space and boundaries much. They never said anything to me. They just sent me a Bible in the post. But most of the weird reactions or unpleasant reactions maybe have actually been from people in the community. Like people outside the community, I've not had that many rude instances in. This might be a American UK divide, because as sucky as the UK is right now, you don't tend to get a whole load of Christians who are as extreme as they are in America. Like, it's not really done. It's like this polite thing that happens in the UK where they don't tend to confront you, even if they disagree with your life choices. They'll just give you funny looks and walk off. But in the community, in our community, I have had strange reactions. People want to fight me a lot of the time. Like, intellectually, usually, I want to intellectually fight you on this point. I want to prove you wrong. And I'm like, okay, sure, knock yourself out. I'll be over there doing something else. And it's really weird to me that people get to this point where they're like, it's my way. I'm correct. You're wrong. Blah blah blah. And it bugs me, because I'm like, you know, there's many roads up the mountain, right? You know, spirituality is not set in stone. You know, there's personal experience, personal gnosis, evolution of spiritual path. No. And I've actually gotten to the point where I just don't engage with it anymore. Like, okay, if you feel like trying to one up or trying to squash people or whatever is going to make you feel better, it's not. But you knock yourself out, and maybe one day you'll realize whatever that shadow is that's poking you, and I don't know, heal yourself, hopefully. I mean, I've had a lot of that. I do sometimes get the people who want a damsel in distress save me online too. That's some of the non-pagans who want to rescue me. Rescue me, take me in your arms, save me now. Maybe it's baby face, who knows? But like, I have had a couple of people who want to save me. That I'm a precious soul, beautiful soul who needs saving from this evil path that I've chosen. So that has happened occasionally. I'm always a bit like, okay. But I do have, okay, there is a strange thing that does happen, that people are afraid to talk to me. And I'm like on my little island, like, why will no one talk to me? Why will no one talk to me? Why will no one talk to me? Chris and I have had this conversation, because it's my shadow that no one finds me approachable, and her shadow that people don't take her as seriously. And we've said this on lives and things. And so I'm there like, Why will no one talk to me? Why will no one talk to me? La, 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 la. And people do. Like, it's not like no one will. But there are some times where weeks go by and like people don't ask me questions and stuff. And I'm like, is anyone out there? Hello, tap, tap screen. So that's a really weird thing that happens. I don't know if that's a witch or just because I'm very English sounding, or I don't know. Maybe I come off as unfriendly. Hope not. Jeez. Do you have a superstition raining down on me? What is my superstition? I do the touch wood thing, which is the knock on wood thing that some people have, but touch wood is, and the magpie thing is something my grandma did, so she always did it, and so we've kind of adopted that. So that was really loud. That was my ring against the wood. I didn't damage anything? No, we're fine. I didn't damage the wood. I didn't damage the ring. Whew, bang bang, he shut me down. So touch wood is like circumventing bad luck thing. So I'm touch wood. You know, hopefully, good luck. Nodding at the magpies, because in the UK the saying one for sorrow, two for joy, three for girl, four for boy, and so forth. That's actually magpies, not crows, that gets put around the internet. That's always been magpies. And nodding at the magpie, initially because they were like bad luck, but that's not why I nod at them. I nod at them because like it's part of my ancestral line thing. But I like honoring my grandma through doing it, but it's also like because I love their little spirits, their little energies. I do it with crows too. I like Greek crows and all corvids really, but like I'll nod at magpies because it kind of feels like carrying on a family tradition, and it kind of feels like respectful to their spirits. Their spirits have always protected me and my family, along with the crow spirits, so that's kind of a nice little thing to carry on. So if you could possess any fantasy magic, what would your power be? Why? Definitely transportation. Like boop boop. That would be so. And I want to transport myself safely and easily, and other people safely and easily, and things safely and easily, because that would cut down on travel costs so much easier. You could see the whole world that way, and it would be way easier. Way easier. Pop 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 pop. What else? Oh, I could like have the superpower to trick all electric systems, and basically money's all online, right? So you'd just be like rich and wouldn't have to worry about anything ever again. It's not that I particularly care about money, because I really don't. I just would like to never have to worry about anything ever again. That would be cool. Being the superpower to eat whatever you want and never gain any weight. That would be one, you know, be at your perfect weight first. And then be able to eat whatever you wanted and never put any weight on. That would be great. That would be a superpower and a half. Yes, please. I right now, especially in the climate in the UK right now and abroad, I would really like the power to allow other people to feel and experience other people's experiences, to give them more empathy. And so this us v them thing would die out in the world, and people would realize they're all people. That would be nice. Anything else? Because fun. I would also really, really like some proper mage powers, like fireball. I don't have a reason. I just want them. Like a fireball could be useful, right? Like, especially if you control how controlled they are, right? So little fire would be cool versus like no. Okay. What is something random from your altar? Okay, well, my altar, especially the Morrigan one, is completely random anyway. There is so much like bones and things and poisonous herbs and roots and all that good stuff. So I picked two things that I really love right now. This is one of the altar windows from a Kavolta. You're supposed to wear them like a pendant, I think, but it's too big for me to wear around my neck. It actually like if I wear it around my neck, it like pulls too much, and pulling on the back of my neck can give me migraine. So I've been using it like stood up as if it's like a portal, which it is, on the altar. And this is Lichen too, and it's really random because not only does it have wolfsbane and things in it, but it also has a tooth in there. So that's really random for shape-shifting. And the other one is a fossilized horse bone that I decorated with sigil on. This is from the Nordic Sea, from the ice, from before the Ice Age. Or was it from the Ice Age? Something. It's a very old horse fossilized bone, and the exact particulars are escaping me because I had migraine yesterday. I have mentioned it on video before somewhere, but I really love this, and it feels really more organic. But it is a little bit strange in terms of having a fossilized horse bone on your altar. I guess that might be strange to some people. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. So, if one of the YouTubers you watched was a genie and they could grant you 3 wishes within their power, who would it be, and what would you wish for? Okay. I'm gonna just say Chris, because Chris can usually predict what I need before I know I need it, and then I wouldn't have to worry about like figuring out what it is that I need in 3 main questions. Because the Virgo brain will go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I don't know, and what would be best, and I don't know, and I'm and Chris would be like, bitch, this, and this. Like, no joke. She'll watch this video later and she'll type out 3 things. She'll be like, you need this, and this in your life, and you'd be set. And I'd be like, and that's why we chose Chris, because she lives in my brain. If you could instantly become an expert in any part of your craft or spirituality, what would it be? I'm actually going to argue against the question. I'm going to argue against the question here. I don't actually think that we can ever become experts, and I don't think that's the point. I really like the energy of being a seeker rather than the energy of becoming an expert. If I could pick something in place of this, I would ask for my memory to be not because my memory it's just been worse and worse. It's a trauma survival stress thing and a migraine thing, and I still have to keep double checking all my stuff to make sure I've got my quotes right or whatever it is. So I'd rather have like mastery over my memory so that I could fully enjoy the process of seeking spirituality. When you die, what do you think will happen to your soul? I believe in reincarnation. I feel that there is so much of the universe that we don't know. There are so many things that we can't experience, that reincarnation makes sense. Other than that being a very strong feeling, a feeling that we're going to live many different lives, many different experiences, keep building the soul, then I just firmly say that other than that, we can't ever truly know. So that would be my answer. Final question, where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? Well, spiritually, well, I'd very much like my own home, or a home that I share, so that I could have a big room to do rituals in and record rituals in, because there are some truly beautiful rituals out there that people record indoors, right? And it's more over on the occult side maybe than on the witchy side sometimes. But I would love a big space to be able to record rituals and stuff in, because I love doing the rituals which are face-to-face with you guys for the Dark Goddess Temple Online videos that we do. They're deeply meaningful and they're meant to be different. But I would also like the space to record proper ritual. That would be nice. And having my own space too would be great someday. I don't really know, because this is the thing. I don't like doing forward planning. I know. We're right back to, this isn't what a Virgo is supposed to be. Virgos are supposed to know everything and have a list for the next 20 years. I don't agree with it. And honestly, this is why. Because the minute I start to be like, oh, I think I know where I'm going to be in 5 years, the Morrigan goes, bitch, you think you know? Do you? Or the universe does that. And then everything gets blown up, everything gets turned around. I end up becoming way more nomadic than I realized. I end up in a different place with a different set of people, with a different energy, with a different life thing happening from where I thought it would be. And so I think it's wiser to say I don't know shit, and I will just go with the current. I will adapt, I will grow, I will shapeshift, I will transform, and I'll make the best of it. Crows outside. That's the Morrigan laughing at me, and that seems like a really good place to end this video. Many blessings, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.